Next warm-up, again, we'll be substituting in for those variables using the order of operations, and they will be applied to rational numbers. Today's warm-up is, again, we're going to be substituting in for the variables, and we're going to have to pay attention to the order of operation. Of course, we are going to be using rational numbers. So the first thing we need to do is to substitute in for each of those variables. So we're going to have 9, oops, sorry about that, 9 times d, which is 5/6, plus c, which is negative 1 2/3, subtract the quantity of 5 times 2 4/5, plus negative 3 minus b, which is negative 15. Okay, so as always, we start with those parentheses, and the first parentheses we get to is right here. So I'm going to underline all the things that we're not bringing down. Now, whenever we add fractions, I'm going to bring this over here, and we're going to use that form, that organizer that I've always go to. And remember, I love eating apples and avocados. And 5/6 is already a fraction. I don't need to change that. Plus negative, and that's 1 2/3. I need that to be an improper fraction, so 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 more is 5/3. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the least common multiple of 6 and 3. So the least common multiple of 6 and 3, of course, is 6. And now I need to find those equivalent fractions. So I've got 5/6 plus some negative number also over 6. 5/6 is going to stay the same because my least common multiple is 6. Then I say, how do I get from 3 to 6? That, of course, is times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So I multiply the top times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Now that I have the same denominator, I can ignore the denominators and simply add the numerators. So it's 5 plus negative 10. I'm adding. When the signs are the same, nope, they're not the same. When the signs are different, find the difference. So I know I'm going to be finding the difference. I've got the absolute values here of 5 and 10. So I'm going to do 10 minus 5. That's, of course, how I find the difference. And that's going to be 5. And then I take the the sign of the largest absolute value, which would be 10. That was negative. So I've got 6 and negative 5. Negative 5 is going to go on top, and 6 goes on the bottom. I realize that seemed like an awful lot of work to get this one, but that's where we are. So let's continue rewriting. Got 9 times negative 5/6 minus the quantity of 5 times 2 4/5 plus negative 3 minus negative 15. Okay, well, still sticking to the parentheses. My first set of parentheses is all set. So I've got 5 times 2 4/5. So the first thing I need to do is to change that to an improper fraction. So I'm going to have 5 over 1 times 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 more is 14/5. And I really should notice that these 5s cancel each other out, and I'm left with 14 over 1. So that, of course, is going to be 14. I'm now going to bring down the rest of my problem. That is a negative 3. Okay, so I still have some more parentheses to finish off over here with my 14 minus negative 3. No, it's not minus, it's plus. Sorry about that confusion. It's plus negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to do this. 14 plus negative 3. Signs are different. Find the difference. 14 minus 3 is 11. Larger absolute value is 14, so that's positive. It stays as is now. Bring down the rest of my problem. Sure you know that that's a negative 5/6. Okay, obviously I've now run out of room on this page, so I'm moving over what I had on the previous slide, which was 9 times negative 5/6 minus 11 minus negative 15. So I know that I've got only multiplication and subtraction here. I know I do multiplication first. I'm going to do these two. This, of course, now has to be 9 over 1 times negative 5 over 6. Because it is a multiplication problem, I need a top and a bottom for both of them, because I'm going to do the top with the top and the bottom with the bottom. But before I do that, I should notice that I can cancel the 9 and the 6, because 3 goes into both of them. So 6 becomes 2, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And now I keep the top with the top, so 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And 1 times 2 is 2. That, of course, is minus 11 minus negative 15. Now, I only have subtraction left, but I do need to go in order from left to right. So here I am. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to come over here to the side. I am going to use my organizer. I love eating apples and avocados. The I is negative 15, my improper fractions, over 2 minus 11 over 1. That, of course, is also an improper fraction. My least common multiple of 2 and 1 is 2. So that means both of these need to come down here. And I'm going to have negative 15 over 2. That's already over 2, so I don't need to do anything to it. Minus some number over 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. So times 2 on the bottom means times 2 on the top. 11 times 2 is 22. I'll bring that right up here. Negative 15 minus 22. And I'm going to change, cha-cha-cha. Don't forget to cha-cha-cha, so you can get it right. And now here I am, and the signs are the same. Find the sum. Find those absolute values of negative 15 and negative 22. I'm finding the sum, so we've got 15 plus 22. 15 plus 22. So 15 plus 20 is 35, plus 2 more is 37. And I take the sign of the larger, they're both the same. I don't even need to do that. So I've got negative 37 over 2 is my answer. I'm going to bring that right up here, because that's where it came from. So I've got negative 37 minus, negative 37 over 2, sorry about that, minus negative 15. It's a subtraction problem, so I get to change, cha-cha-cha. This stays the same. Subtraction changes to addition, and negative 15 changes to positive 15. But I still need to add them. So I am going to carry this on to my next page. And I'm going to have negative 37 over 2 plus 15. I'm going to make my graphic organizer. I love eating apples and avocados every single time. Bring down my improper fractions. Got negative 37 over 2 plus 15 over 1. My least common multiple of 2 and 1, of course, is 2. I need to bring over both of my fractions. Negative 37 over 2 is going to stay the same because it's already over 2, plus some number over 2. 1 times 2 is 2, so I do 15 times 2 is 30. And now I'm going to bring my negative 37, just the numerators, now that my denominators are the same. Negative 37 plus 30. Signs are different, find the difference. So I've got my absolute values. I do 37 minus 30. 37 minus 30 is 7. And I take the sign of the larger absolute value, which is negative 37. So I've got negative 7. I've got my denominator, I've got my numerator. Negative 7 over 2. That is going to be my final answer. Negative 7 over 2, but I do need to reduce it. That tiny little 2 can't hold up that big giant 7. So 2 goes into 7 3 times with 1 left over, so it's 3 1/2. I can't forget about the negative, and there's my final answer.